Are you aware that the clothes you are wearing, unless you intentionally bought fair trade clothing, was made in factories by perhaps children and women who are not making very much money, not making a living wage at all? Hey everybody, this is Emily Josephine, and I'm in the middle of a series about the benefits of minimalism. Today we are on benefit number 5. If you missed benefit number 4, I'm pointing to the link right there. You can click there and see what I had to say about the 4th benefit of minimalism. So what's benefit number 5? When you become a minimalist, you help save the planet. Now, I know you don't need to be a minimalist in order to take steps. You can be a consumer and recycle and all sorts of things like that. Use paper instead of plastic, or use non-disposable as opposed to disposable. There are steps you can take, obviously, when you don't decide to be a minimalist. However, when you become a minimalist, you go up several levels in helping out the planet. How does that happen? Well, there are 2 distinct ways. The first way is, if you are a minimalist, you are going to make a lot fewer purchases. The fewer purchases you make, that means the less items need to be manufactured, and the less items that are manufactured means 2 things. Number 1, we're not using up the Earth's natural resources as quickly, and number 2, that we're not causing as much pollution, because the manufacturing process of whatever always causes some pollution. So that's the first way that minimalism helps to save the planet. The second way is kind of what I referred to in the introduction. When you are a minimalist, you do not support sweatshops nearly as often. What do I mean by sweatshops? Sweatshops have to do with factories, and not just, we usually think of sweatshops in terms of clothing, but there are other things, other items that are made in sweatshops. But they are factories where the workers are working in dangerous conditions, unhealthy conditions, and they frequently are not getting paid a living wage, even though, some people say, well, they're only getting paid $2 a day in China, but they only need $2 a day to, well, no. Even though the standard of living is much lower in certain areas of the world, they still are not getting paid a living wage for their work. They're working very long hours. They're not working 9 to 5. They may be working between 10 and 15 hours a day in this factory, still barely making enough money to feed themselves, let alone their family if they have a family. And many children are illegally put to work in these factories. When you become a minimalist, you dramatically, in a huge way, reduce your support of sweatshops. Hopefully, you choose to not support them at all, and when you make a purchase, you do your research ahead of time and make sure that this product was not manufactured by in a sweatshop by people who are not making a living wage. See, remember, and I talked about this in the first benefit of minimalism about saving money. Minimalists they're not necessarily cheapskates. They don't go for the cheapest thing. Minimalists tend to purchase quality items, and they're willing to pay more and able to pay more for quality items because they're simply not purchasing as much. Westerners, the general stereotypic average Westerner buys way more things than they need, and because they buy all these things, they need the money to buy these things, so they insist on cheap things, and these cheap things are made by people on the other side of the world in sweatshops. When you get out of that consumer mindset that I have to have more and more and more and more, you make a positive impact on the planet by making a positive impact on humanity, by basically voting with your dollar, saying, I am no longer going to support corporations that force people to work in these kinds of unhealthy and inhumane situations. So, when you become a minimalist, you help save the planet. You help conserve the Earth's resources, reduce pollution, and you make more humane choices when you do decide to purchase things. All right, well, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you share it. I'll see you for the sixth benefit of minimalism in my next video. In the meantime, please make sure you help someone in need this week.